Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. Yep, they were right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again to visit the land of Brucesploitation, where filmmakers decided to honor the legendary martial artist and movie star's legacy by making a bunch of Z-grade movies starring impersonators who look almost nothing like him. Challenge of the Tiger starred Bruce Lee with one E, and The Dragon Lives Again stars Bruce Lee Ong, a guy who looks more like he should be starring in a Bolo Youngsploitation movie. This movie has the distinction of being simultaneously one of the most infamous and obscure Brucesploitation movies, but it's gonna have to work pretty hard to top Challenge of the Tiger, which gave us both bouncing tennis titties and karate cattle mutilation. So prepare to enter the Imitation Dragon with The Dragon Lives Again. You know you're dealing with quality when even the letters are too embarrassed to be seen in this thing. Alright, let's see how it starts. Well, that's pretty promising. I think Bruce just knocked a bullet out of the air. Even the real Bruce only made it as far as ping pong balls. You know, it's rare that a movie tries to include both Doc Holliday James Bond and putties from Power Rangers in the first 30 seconds. In fact, this whole opening is nuts. Dracula? A cowboy? Fucking Kato? Jesus, we're not even past the opening credits, and already it's like one of Quentin Tarantino's wet dreams just ejaculated all over the screen. Also, whoever directed this movie was anything but low-key. Well, now that the credits are done, maybe the real movie will make a little more sense.
Attention! The king is coming!
Yeah, I can tell he's coming from that massive rigor mortis boner there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the king. Fun fact, in China, all kings come with their own personal drive-through car washes.
Oh, Bruce Lee. He's still standing. He should kneel before the king.
So, what, you want him at a half chub then? Besides, you don't need to kneel before anybody when you got your own soundtrack.
Majesty.
Okay, well that's the second movie I've done in a row that's had kung fu fighting on the soundtrack. I think it's a little more appropriate here though, since according to the credits, literally everybody is kung fu fighting in this movie. I also gotta give this movie credit for actually acknowledging that this guy doesn't look like Bruce Lee.
Are you sure it's Bruce Lee? He doesn't look like him. It so happens when a person dies, their face and their body undergo a change. When he was alive, all the girls were after him. They just ate him up. Oh, help me.
Well, they are right about your appearance changing after death, but I still don't think that's the real Bruce Lee. Last I heard, he got reincarnated as a sarcastic white guy up in Canada. And no wonder the ladies loved him. Bruce's dick is really two black guys' penises strung together. Oh. Sorry, those are nunchucks. My mistake. I guess Bruce doesn't appreciate having his morning wood stolen, so he finally decides to get his ass up.
How dare you get down on your knees before me?
Is there something wrong with you? You're weird.
Funny, that's what everyone involved with this movie said to the director. Anyway, Fu Manchu here is the king of the underworld, and I guess he was a little intimidated by Bruce's nunchuck boner, since he immediately starts swinging his own dick around.
Do you see that enormous pillar over there? If someone gives me trouble, I give the pillar a shake, which in turn triggers off an earthquake. If I really wanted to, I could destroy the whole face of the planet.
Really? Because it looks like you can only shake the camera, but I suppose that's the next best thing. Turns out being brought back from the dead is hungry work, so Bruce's first action is to get some grub.
Hey, let me have a menu. Hey, I can't read what's written here.
Yeah, you should have pictures with numbers beside them so I can order. Also, I don't know if I trust the food at this place.
Right, I'll introduce you to some real treats. You'll like them for sure, but you've got to eat it in a special way. First, you suck it in, and then you chew it over and spit it out, and it tastes absolutely delicious.
The treat is your dick, isn't it? And what the hell? Popeye's in this thing too?
That's 4 times now. Popeye, you lose again.
Okay, so if that's Popeye, who's the other guy supposed to be? Asian Doctor Who? In fact, even the dub actors seem to be miscast in this thing. For example, this guy sounds more like Popeye than the guy playing Popeye.
You call this filthy muck food. I'll complain to the hygiene squad. That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
Poor Bruce. The guy just got brought back from the dead and people won't even let him enjoy his first meal.
Hey, mister, why are you making trouble with those triad thugs from Chinatown?
Wait a second. From Chinatown? Where the hell is this place supposed to be? America Town? And just who are these thugs from Chinatown anyway?
They're hard-nosed bastards. One's James Bond and the other's Clint Eastwood.
Sure they are. Just like how this guy is totally Spider-Man. Pretty soon James Bond and Clint Eastwood show up at the restaurant, and the casting in this movie is so weird, I can't tell if their henchmen are supposed to be guys dressed up as skeletons or actual skeletons.
Bastard, where'd you come from? You talking to me?
Wrong movie, asshole! I guess I shouldn't be too upset. This guy looks about as much like Robert De Niro as he does Bruce Lee. Anyway, Bruce gets into the first kung fu fight of the movie, and I can see why this guy was cast. After all, it's easy to be Bruce Lee when you don't have to actually hit people. Bruce makes short work of the henchmen, so taking out Clint should be easy, right? Or not. Oh well, maybe Pai Mei here can make him feel better.
I'm Watto.
You see, now this movie is just getting lazy. This guy looks nothing like Watto. Bruce goes to Watto's house to get patched up, and in return, he asks Bruce to stop chasing the ladies?
I think you've been overdoing it. I cannot say that I blame you, but you should just look at yourself.
Oh, Grandpa, don't be so unfair. When a man's endowed like Bruce, the girls are bound to want him.
Okay, the thing about his penis being 2 black guys' dicks was just a joke. Also, did the real Bruce Lee have a problem with screwing around? I'm beginning to think this movie isn't entirely accurate.
It seemed like I had everything licked. Except for just one thing. My Achilles heel.
I could never reach far enough to lick that part. Watto tells Bruce he can't send him back to Earth, but this just raises further questions. If this is the Underworld, does that mean Clint Eastwood and James Bond are dead too? Alright, well I guess we can assume they're hang 'em high Clint Eastwood and you only live twice James Bond then. Besides, who needs to be alive when the Underworld comes complete with champagne and strippers?
He's hoping you become the king soon.
Ah, thank you. But let's not count the chickens. But I'm sure with your help to me, we're bound to succeed, huh?
Okay, I give up. Who is this guy supposed to be? Asian Inspector Clouseau?
Con exorcist. You must drink too.
The Exorcist? Oh yeah, I should have known. This guy's a total dead ringer for Max von Sydow. Anyone else?
Emmanuel! You're so beautiful.
Emmanuel? Alright, well I guess this means this movie's probably gonna have some nudity now. Hey, I got it right this time! Anyway, all these characters are plotting to overthrow the king, and the only person who stands in their way is Bruce, even though it looked like he didn't really like the king at the beginning either. Oh well, we're 25 minutes in, too late for this movie to start making sense now. Meanwhile, Bruce is putting his martial arts skills to good use by making sure people don't gamble too much?
When you were gambling in the other world, what did you do? You lost all your money and then took your own life. And now you arrive here, you're gambling again, and you get cheated again.
If he's already dead, I don't think he can kill himself again. Speaking of which, I just figured out how Bruce can get back to Earth. He just needs Asian Doctor Who to teach him how to regenerate. In other news, titties.
I've heard he's meant to be very generous to his girlfriends. I'm just crazy about him. I'm just crazy all over about that man.
Yeah, I can tell by your line delivery. Yeah, this is pretty good, but we all know how a real Brucesploitation movie does gratuitous nudity. Dick Cannon approves. We also get a fight scene with some corrupt cops, although I think these guys got their martial arts training from the Three Stooges. Thank God Bruce is there to put a stop to it.
This place just happens to be the place where we all have our lives to live.
Our lives to live? I thought you people were supposed to be dead. Bruce gets into a fight with the old guy from the beginning, and I think they fight for so long they end up wandering into a completely different movie. Oh, and did I mention that even the fight scenes get their own subtitles in this movie?
Now enter the dragon.
Yeah, this could maybe pass for Turkish Enter the Dragon. Okay, so Bruce managed to defeat a guy twice his age. How are the copyright infringement gang doing?
That Bruce Lee guy is really something. He easily took the blind man apart.
Yeah, anyone who can beat up a blind guy must be tough. So anyway, what's your plan to defeat Bruce now?
I reckon Emmanuel should do it.
I'll get him. Once I've got his measure.
So, the plan is for Emmanuel to fuck him to death then? Okay, Emmanuel, just remember the plan. You seduce him while we watch.
What are you doing?
You tried to trick me.
Wait, she tried to trick you into having sex with her? 'Cause it kinda seemed like you were aware of the situation. Well, maybe we can just talk things over.
You're a pretty famous fighter.
Okay, I guess that's one way to describe Bruce Lee. A pretty famous fighter. Anyway, the copyright infringement gang tries to convince Bruce to join them, which he of course refuses. Damn, I knew we should have got Asian Darth Vader to try and convince him to join the dark side. Bruce goes back to the apartment he's renting in hell, I guess. But even when he's dead, women just won't leave him alone.
I'll change into Seal Man and seduce Bruce Lee.
No, wait. Let me go up first.
Oh, right. Let's play for it then.
Ladies, why don't you both try and seduce him? That way, everybody wins. Despite Bruce's reputation with the ladies, though, I guess even he still needs some 70s Viagra.
This potion can do wonders for a man. It stiffens his resolve. You'll see. But if a woman takes it, the result's awful.
Yeah, I hate it when chicks get 4-hour boners, too. They try to put the moves on Bruce, but he's having none of this.
You're the queen. Why do you come to me like this?
You promised me, Bruce. You wouldn't stop ridiculing me.
Why do you do this to yourself?
God, why are so many women trying to have sex with me? Man, it's hard being Bruce sometimes.
You better leave before I get rough.
Oh, you're going to get rough. Oh, beat me then. If you beat me, I'll love you more.
Man, the Asian version of 50 Shades of Grey is really weird. On the plus side, we now get to find out what happens when women drink the boner potion.
My God, you made me drink it too. I had some too. Oh my God, now we'll both turn into little old hags.
No, you'll just turn into the characters from that one Star Trek episode. That's not so bad, although then again that is my fetish. Huh? Oh, right, the plot. So the copyright infringement gang now decides to use Emmanuel to seduce the king, which will cause them to rule the underworld, or some shit like that, I don't really know.
So this is the famous Hollywood star, Emmanuel.
Actually, most of the Emmanuel movies were made in Europe, but since that's not actually her, I'll let it slide. Yes, Exorcist approves. Well, this is a martial arts movie, so I suppose it's time we had another fight scene, this time against Christopher Lee with one E, I guess. Oh, and Bruce is dressed up as Kato now, because you know, the real Bruce Lee played Kato in The Green Hornet, and also they had that costume lying around.
Listen, Dracula, your zombies can't help you.
Get here!
Hey, weren't you listening? I said your zombies can't help you. No fair. You know, as ridiculous as this scene is, it's still better than the Seth Rogen Green Hornet movie. Oh no, the deadly rig around the Rosie move. Bruce's one weakness. Looks like Bruce is gonna have to use all his martial arts skills to get out of this one. Wait a second, third leg? Did Bruce just hit that guy with his penis? Okay, well, whatever it was, I guess it worked. And this is just another example of this movie being inaccurate. Vampires can only be killed by a stake to the heart, not a dick to the face. Meanwhile, it looks like the king and Emmanuel are busy having sex underneath a fast food heating lamp. Makes sense. The scene is about as sexy as a half-eaten Big Mac. Also, in the 70s, recording and uploading porn to the internet was a lot more complicated.
Slow down, my lord. Watch out, the vibration's up to 10,000 cycles. You better slow down, or you're gonna bust something.
Yeah, he's trying to bust a nut. Now either join in or piss off. Fortunately, Bruce comes in to inform the king of Emmanuel's plan. right after he stops and watches for a bit.
Emmanuel, I see now. I told her to slow down. But she went faster. That's it. Her pussy's in this plot too. She was using it to murder me.
Aren't you people already dead? How the hell does this world work? By the way, I just want to add, her pussy's in this plot too is easily one of the best martial arts movie lines ever.
Her pussy's in this plot too.
Bruce next gets into a fight with James Mutton Chops, although it doesn't last long since I think James shits his pants halfway through. Ugh, I think he just went from golden eye to brown eye. Next up, we got Clint Far Eastwood here, although I don't know why he's fighting Bruce. He should just get his orangutan from every which way but loose to fight him. And that's what happens when you don't bring a gun to a fist fight.
It was his last wish that his body be sent to Mexico.
But first, as per his final wishes, we shall stuff him full of delicious candy. So these two team up to take out the king and... Hey, wait a second, who's the guy with the kerchief?
Exorcist, you've teamed up with the Godfather?
Wait a second, the Godfather? So what, this guy's supposed to be Marlon Brando then? Considering this movie seems to want to have lazy representations of every popular 70s film character, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy I thought was Doctor Who is really supposed to be the shark from Jaws. Oh, and now you're ripping off Earthquake? This movie has no shame. So with the king taken care of, it's up to Bruce to battle against the Godfather and the Exorcist to see who wins Best Picture. What? That description makes about as much sense as what's really going on. I think Bruce may be a little confused too, since at one point it looks like he's beating up the cameraman. And does it bother anyone else that the guy they got to play the Godfather actually looks more like the real Bruce Lee than the guy playing Bruce? Oh hey, the king's still in this? What's he up to?
The Godfather and the Exorcist are after me.
I have just retired. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you and everyone else.
But you're going to have to help me. I don't want to be the king no more. I just want to stay alive, that is all.
But you're already dead! How can you be murdered if you're the king of the Underworld? You know what? Fuck it. Could this movie possibly make any less sense?
Attention! Another demon!
I stand corrected. Oh sure, you may have an army of mummies to fight Bruce, but now there's no more toilet paper left in the kingdom. So now it's time for the final battle with fake Bruce Lee versus the toilet mummies. And on the list of sentences I never thought I'd say, that one's at least gotta be in the top 5. Let's see if these mummies have the moves to defeat Bruce. Well, here's a shock. The mummy's moves don't work and Bruce starts to kick the crap out of them. Damn, if only they had been used toilet paper mummies. That way Bruce wouldn't want to touch them. Popeye and fake Doctor Who come by to give him a hand, because you know, Bruce Lee fighting mummies wasn't nearly weird enough. Unfortunately for Popeye, he starts getting his ass kicked because he hasn't had his spinach, but lucky for him there's a can just randomly on the ground next to him. I just watched Popeye beat up a bunch of toilet paper mummies. You know, it's at this point that I start to wonder if I'm the one who's really dead right now and I'm actually in some sort of weird movie purgatory. Okay, so Bruce and friends defeat the mummies and overthrow the king, even though the copyright infringement gang was also trying to overthrow the king, but Bruce defeated them too, which means he was technically on both their sides this whole time, and whatever, the movie's almost over.
I want to go back to Earth.
Oh, all right. But only you are allowed to go.
Why can't the others go as well?
If I let everybody go back, the Earth would be an even crazier place.
You know, he's actually got a bit of a point there. And so Bruce heads back to Earth and proceeds to act in Black Belt Jones 2. So that's The Dragon Lives Again, and holy shit that DVD cover was not lying. It's incredible. It's like they took an idea that an 8-year-old would think of and actually made a movie out of it. You've got fake Bruce Lee, fake James Bond, fake Clint Eastwood, fake Dracula, fake fucking Popeye, all put together in a plot that makes no goddamn sense and seems to change every 15 minutes. And you know what? Just like with Challenge of the Tiger, it's pretty hilarious. Now sure, it may lack the charm of Richard Harrison as Dick Cannon, but it makes up for that with sheer what the fuckery. I mean, come on, where else are you gonna see Kato fighting Dracula and Popeye beating up mummies outside of an acid trip? My attitude when it comes to Brucesploitation movies is go big or go home, and The Dragon Lives Again goes for everything but the kitchen sink. And now that I think about it, there might have actually been a kitchen sink in there somewhere. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.